one of the key issues that we've heard at the WEF forum is meeting the needs of customers. And whoever can meet these needs the fastest and most efficiently is going to get ahead. There's also, of course, a lot of talk about the social citizen, how technology is helping governments meet the needs of citizens, whether it's education, healthcare. How do you see, CA helping both governments and businesses meet the needs of the customer?
I think in a number of ways. Let's start with businesses. I think, because we were talking about that a little earlier, I think businesses is clear. We're kind of going into an era of what I call a sort of a digital Darwinism, where only the fittest will survive, if you will. And I think that's definitely going to be true in business. And it's encouraging to see the upstarts, wag the tail of the larger tigers, if you will, to really create that appetite for change, to progress, to speed up, and to provide that rich customer experience that clearly consumers are crying out for. And as I say, I see that playing out through all segments. But I see it being particularly relevant to governments as well, as you described earlier. And we see many examples of that through ASEAN, where governments, for example, are now implementing smart city projects. We see things like the Internet of Things playing out, reaching out to a greater number of connected devices, sensors and other measurement components, for example, that are going to help us just live in smarter cities, collaborate more effectively, enable governments to be more in tune, obviously, with their constituents,
right.
and to really all just live and move towards a better lifestyle.
Right. Constructive disruption has been used as a term to define what's happening. How would you define this process?
It's a nice term, and I heard that this morning from yourself, and I think it quite succinctly describes precisely what's going on in the business. And I think when I look at it from a CA perspective, I mean, we've spent many years augmenting the business, helping businesses be more productive with software, to a more recent era where it was all about getting more alignment of IT to the business. And now we're in a new phase where IT simply is the business. And what we're seeing in practical realities is that companies are now starting to think about the IT architecture being pivotal to the entire business strategy, as an example. We're starting to see companies think about, how do I manage my IT assets as a business, and what are the processes I need to be putting in place to support that? How do I unify development and operations together? These are traditionally domains of the business which have been separated. But if you're going to be moving quality content from applications into the hands of your users or consumers more rapidly, then you've got to unify development and operations, bring it together quickly, and build this software factory, if you will. The notion of a continuous delivery of capability and functionality into the hands of your customers. We need to think about security as something that's continuous, where identity becomes something multifaceted, but not in a restrictive sense. We need to think about security enabling the business. And probably last and by no means least, how do we get analytics into our business? How do we make analytics more pervasive, yet invisible, but helping businesses to make more informed decisions about precisely what their customers need, require, and desire, right, as part of the business?
In your interaction and engagement with some of your clients and customers, I've been told that today, taking bold decisions, it's no longer a risky decision, but it's a necessary decision. So you don't have a choice. You got to make that decision. Sometimes it may work out, sometimes it doesn't, but you have no choice. Do you see your customers and your clients, being bolder in making this kind of decisions?
Yes, we do. And in many cases, you see companies doing that just simply because they want to take a very aggressive forward position in the market that they're operating or serving. But increasingly, we're seeing customers who are really taking advantage of big data and analytics to make more informed, more intelligent decisions around what their customers really need, require, or indeed how to best drive their strategy within the marketplace they're serving.
Right. CA Technologies, of course, operates across the Asia-Pacific region. What are the opportunities that you see for CA Technologies, say over the next 3 to 5 years?
I think we see tremendous opportunities in the region generally. We talked before about small and large companies alike, new and traditional businesses, but really it's across multiple different segments. Banking and finance has typically been a very lucrative area for the company, as well as serving some of the largest communication service providers in the region, as well as areas like hospitality, government, education, healthcare, you name it. I mean, we see opportunity across the length and breadth of the region. To your point earlier, the digitization of business in general and the application economy knows no boundaries. And so as we see opportunities in some of our traditional markets, in the West, we see an abundance of opportunity here in Asia, both north and south alike.
Right. I know some emerging markets, of course, have different needs from more developed markets like Japan and South Korea. How do you adapt to these different needs?
You're right that in some cases the needs can be different, but the appetite to consume and adapt IT as part of the strategy knows no boundaries. And in fact, what we see happening in a lot of emerging areas is companies leapfrogging and taking advantage of the fact that there's less legacy, less heritage, if you will, within their business, and taking the opportunity to go digital first from the get-go. We see that in a number of areas, as well as large established companies who have just bitten the bullet and made a decision to digitize their business rapidly and obviously put that into good effect in their business.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We are here at the World Economic Forum East Asia. Mr. Stephen Miles from CA Technologies.
Thank you.